Thank you and welcome to the show for today. This morning on Perspectives, I have Robert Higgins here discussing entrepreneurship in the local community. This morning we're discussing Robert's background, education, and ultimately the impact that he has both had and seeks to have on the local Tennessee community. And so Robert, thank you for joining me this morning.
You're welcome, you're welcome.
I know most people know you as Black Rob, so I got to throw that in there. But seriously, thank you for coming because I know your schedule is extremely busy and we're going to talk about why it's that busy. But to start off this first segment, tell me just a little bit about your background, about the just baby Rob years.
So I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, born and raised. I lived most of my life in St. Louis. That's where I got a lot of my upbringing, my knowledge, my skills, my hustle. I think everybody from St. Louis, like, we got this thing that say you can't spell hustle without STL. So, because it is in there. So it's like, that's where I, was born and bred it. I went to high school in St. Louis, but when I was like a junior, my grandma got sick. I had to move to Memphis, Tennessee.
Now tell me about, I hate to interject, but about that transition, about especially the mindset associated, because that's a big jump, Missouri to Tennessee. Just kind of tell me what was going through your head during that.
So, Tennessee is the South, St. Louis is the Midwest, so it's a big cultural difference. You being young, I really didn't travel a lot when I was young, so everything that I thought we did in St. Louis, I thought that was the way of life. You know what I mean? So how we talked, what we ate, how we dressed, all that, I thought that's what everybody did until I got to Memphis. I'm like, whoa, what are you guys doing? It's different. This is not what we do back home. So it was really like a cultural shock. I wasn't used to it. So.
Now, once you've acclimated to Memphis, kind of tell me what high school those last few years looked like, and then your transition to college, and specifically what led you to a particular university.
So in going to Memphis, that was actually the pivot that changed my life. I tell everybody this because in St. Louis, I went to St. Louis City School. It was very like, I don't know, you probably, you don't know this, but it's Eastside High. It's called Lean on Me.
Okay.
So it's a movie called Lean on Me, and it's Eastside High. And that's what my high school was like. It was like Eastside High. And when I got to Memphis, I actually stayed in North Memphis, but my auntie lived in Bartlett, so I used her address. I went to Bartlett High School. And that was kind of like the high school from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So it was like, whoa. And I kind of felt like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like when he went from Philadelphia to Beverly Hills. And it was like, when I got to Memphis, it was like, wow, this is different. It was different. Like, school was different. I could walk out the doors and go to different classes. We had an open campus. The food was better. But the most important thing is the students was focused on education. Not only that, they was focused on going to college. In St. Louis, that wasn't my thought pattern. So everybody was going to college, and me and my sister, we didn't want to be left behind. So we like, man, we got to go to college. We don't want to look like we don't know what we're talking about. So we start focusing in on college, which led me to Tennessee State.
Now, okay, boom, we got to get into the TSU experience, and this will kind of wrap up our first segment, but just tell me about that freshman year experience. I ask all products of TSU this. Tell me, just, Lord, what it was like. What were you studying?
I went to school for biology, pre-med.
Wow. So now, you're a young man coming from Memphis studying biology. What was freshman year like?
Freshman, it was different. TSU has changed in so much. Like, it was a culture shock, too, because we just partied. It was like a big party. Like, I met a lot of people, built a lot of relationships, but TSU was like a big party. It was it's like fun. Just, I was learning biology, but at the same time, I was on campus with a lot of my peers that I literally, I felt like I lived with these people because when I woke up, these are the only people I saw. You know what I mean? I get to campus, we go to lunch, we go to dinner, we sleep in the same dormitories. Like, these was like family now, so we built a close relationship. We seen a lot of the crazy stuff that happened on TSU campus, but it was like I would say that was like a different world. Like, it was new to me. So, but it was exciting because I got to see I was out on my own for the first time.
And throw me some extracurriculars you were involved in, some organizations.
So when I got to TSU, I did like the dental organization at TSU because I thought I wanted to be a dentist. I pledged Kappa Alpha Psi. I pledged Alpha Theta at TSU. And then I also started a promotional company at TSU. It was called Fly Major. So that's what really led to all my entrepreneur endeavors in college. So I was like the party promoter on college campuses.
Now we're going to pick back up on just those early promotional endeavors, and that actually makes sense because your advertising is like amazing. I look at your social media like jealous, actually. And in our second segment, I encourage viewers to tune in to Robert and I's discussion about entrepreneurship in the local community and the impact that he seeks to leave on Tennessee. To the second segment of the show for today. For viewers just tuning in, I am host Alana McLaughlin, and you are watching Perspectives. This morning on the show, I have Robert Higgins here to discuss entrepreneurship in the local community. We, in the first segment, discussed his background, early years, his transition from St. Louis to Memphis, Tennessee, and ultimately his transition to Tennessee State University as a young man. We discussed some of the organizations and other things that he was involved in at Tennessee State University, and we left off talking about a promotional group that Robert founded at Tennessee State University, and we're just going to pick right back up on that because it explains a lot of what you're doing now.
Right.
Tell me about Fly Major and the establishment of it.
So it started out, I used to sell polos, t-shirts, eBay. eBay was a big thing back then. And kids on TSU used to think they was fly. So I'm like, look, y'all think y'all fly, y'all don't want to buy t-shirts from Dillard's. I mean, polos from Dillard's. I found an eBay, they used to sell them in bulk. I used to get like 10 for like maybe $150. And I was like, wow, that's cheap. But that was like $15. I'll sell them for $50. So I was selling clothes because people used to always ask me where I get my clothes. I used to start selling clothes. Then I started selling shoes. So that's how I built my foundation of that. That's where the fly comes. Because people always like, you can dress. Where do you get your clothes from? So I used to lie and be like, man, my uncle was stylist and stuff like that. But I really got them off eBay. But they wanted to know so bad, so I started selling them. So I started hosting parties because in St. Louis, like we used to have a lot of radio jocks that used to host clubs, and that presence wasn't really here in Nashville. So I started hosting parties, college parties, and as I was hosting them, nobody knew, like, they used to think that was my parties. Like, Rob, you throwing these parties? I'm like, yeah, but I was just the host. I was just emceeing. And after a while, I was like, so many people like following me where I host parties, I might as well do it myself. Because I was getting paid like $100. It was like, and I'm thinking in my head, they making more money than me, but people think it's my party. Even though it wasn't, they think it is. Perception is reality. So I just said, look, I'm gonna start a promotional company. So it started as Fly Guy. That's so it was like, man, I'm gonna start Fly Guy Entertainment. So I started throwing parties under Fly Guy on college. The first one I did was on Jefferson Street, a place called John Henry's. It was crazy. Biggest party I did. And I'm like, this can make it something. This could turn into something. So I had a partner named DJ Crisis, and he started a promotional company called Major League. And so we combined forces, Fly Guy and Major League, and we made Fly Major. And then from there, it was just history. Like, we was throwing parties. I probably have thrown a party in every venue in Nashville.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I probably thrown a party.
And I believe you.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. There's not too many venues that I haven't thrown a party in. Big venues in Nashville that have been around for 10 plus years, I've probably thrown a party in it.
Oh my
so
God.
I've thrown parties all throughout Nashville. That's what I, was known for, and throwing parties. So, like, we threw all the biggest parties in Nashville for like 2 years straight. We would throw parties Friday to Saturday, 1,000 people every day.
And that makes sense because your name, I swear to you, anyone watching this could go get on Facebook on this Saturday morning and say, where should I go tonight? It's going to be like one of your restaurants under your group. I said, God, like, what is Black Rob doing over there? But this honestly segues into, tell me about life after TSU and really the transition from these like college-based or at least college-age parties to like a more mature kind of vibe.
Yeah. So in throwing parties, I learned that I want to own the venue. You know what I mean? So in dealing with a lot of club owners, it was like, nah, I don't want to do this no more. So I started reaching out to figure out how to own a facility. So I opened my first club when I was maybe 22. I opened Jazz and Jokes. It's on 3rd Avenue downtown. It was in downtown Nashville. So I opened Jazz and Jokes. It was a music and comedy club. From there, I did that for like 4 years. Then I opened Weekend. Weekend is, it had a 10 to 12 year run. Yeah, and I closed that last year. But it was on Church Street. from weekend, I opened Agenda. It was a nightclub in the Gulch, and that stayed open for about 4 or 5 years. From Agenda, I opened the Cranky Chef. It was a restaurant on Lafayette. Then I opened Weekend in Memphis, which is still open. And then I opened Minerva Avenue on Buchanan Street. And then I opened the Weekend in the FedEx Forum. And then from there, after doing all the lounges, bars, and clubs, I said I want to venture off into restaurants. So I opened Supper Club on 2nd, downtown Memphis. Then I opened Supper Club on Belcourt in Hillsborough Village. After Supper Club on Belcourt, I opened Bungalow 10, which is next door to Supper Club on Belcourt. Then I opened Jar Cocktail Club, which is behind Bungalow. And now I'm opening Sunset on Belcourt, which is a cigar and live music bar, which is behind Supper Club.
So this whole block of Belcourt.
Yeah.
I have like 10 million questions, but the first one, Rob, you have just sat there and just listed off these things, and it's just so nonchalant. It's just like, yeah, I did this and this. What? Break down to me just the process of even just opening up a venue. People don't just go and open venues and have them be successful.
Right.
Tell me about that foundation. That's how we're going to wrap this second segment before we dive deeper into that. But just tell me about that foundation.
So it's based in God, my faith in Christ. You know what I mean? My vision, I never want to lose my vision. You know what I mean? I believe that's the most important thing that I have. I could lose everything, but as long as I have a vision, I'll be able to find my way. And that's what I live by. So I've been in times where I lost everything, but I never lost that vision. So my vision is what keeps me going. It's my secret sauce.
And I love this, and I totally get that, but I need to know how you were going into these establishments, like talking to people, grants, those kind of things. So I guess kind of tell me, in a paragraph, kind of short form, and this is how we'll wrap it. A young, budding entrepreneur right now is watching this, and he's saying, oh my goodness, I want to open some type of specialty club. What's step one?
You got to think I'm playing with you. My vision. It's crazy, but it's true. God gave, you got to learn how to read sign language. God gives you signs. It's up to us to believe them. Like, I come from nothing. My parents didn't have no money, so every step of the way, he was leading my way. I never took out loans. I never got grants. Nobody ever paid for nothing. It's no secret. Bill Gates behind me paying for stuff. It's a sign. Like, I got a vision from God, and I just follow that. And he leads my way. So no man can close doors that God's open. And I'm telling you, that's it. I get a vision, and I got to act on it. And I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I get there. And I see it in my head. I feel it in my heart. And God lead my way.
Oh, my God.
And that's the truth.
I'm like getting chills from that. Rob, in our final segment, we're going to discuss Make a Play Hospitality Group, the impact that you seek to leave on Tennessee, and ways that we can support you, Make a Play, this block of Belcourt that's about to be renamed Robert Higgins Avenue, all the good stuff. And I encourage our viewers to tune into the final segment of this episode where Robert and I will be discussing entrepreneurship in the local community.
The National Desk, a network of nearly 4,000 local journalists cover America's news now.
These chemicals are not going to leave the environment.
Provides in-depth coverage,
leaving the city frustrated with crime and homelessness.
context,
It could be a matter of life and death.
and clarity to major stories.
The bottom line is our recall system is broken.
The National Desk covers our nation.
The final segment of the show for today. For viewers just tuning in, I am host Alana McLaughlin, and you are watching Perspectives. This morning on the show, I have Robert Higgins here discussing entrepreneurship in the local community, and the ground we've covered is absolutely amazing. Robert's impact on the city has been amazing, and we're going to continue to talk about that impact in this final segment, talk about ways that we as viewers can support Robert and can support his future endeavors. And so we're picking right back up Make a Play Hospitality Group. Explain it to me. What is it? The establishment of it. Give me the rundown.
So Make a Play is the offspring of Fly Major. So after we got out of Fly Major, we wanted to figure out something else to get into, because Fly Major was so conducive with the college realm. So it was like, you know, we got to make a play. and that's where the name came from. And we just took it. And my good friend Patrick Walker Reese, who's an educator here,
he was just on the show like 2 months ago.
Yeah. So he's he's been saying it for years. So we just took that and just ran with it, and that's where Make a Play Hospitality Group come from, because I feel like, you know, whatever you got to do, whatever the challenges you got in life, whatever's thrown in front of you, you got to make a play. You got to make something happen. And all the greats in every sport, at the end of the game, they got to, what the announcer always said, can he make a play? I'm going to make a play.
Oh, man, I'm going to make a play. Now, tell me, I guess, the kind of the mission of Make a Play. What do you guys do? I know that you guys are like over these restaurants, but what does that mean technically? If that makes sense, like do you guys supply the city with venues, or what, I guess, what kind of sector?
So Make a Play Hospitality Group is it's just that, it's a hospitality group. What we want to do is provide experience in hospitality from restaurant, bars, lounges, clubs, whatever it is, throughout just not Tennessee, but the United States. We want to grow into one of the biggest hospitality companies in the country. You know what I mean? There's Landry's that own every big restaurant in the country. Yeah. So that's what we aspire to be. You know, that's what we are on the track to be able to produce, is a lot of different hospitality concepts around the country and internationally. So that's what my goal is. I want to grow this into an international brand that just, so when you hear Make a Play, you know we have a quality restaurant, bar, lounge. You're going to get a quality experience at a quality spot.
Now, give me some of the characteristics of some of the restaurants or lounges, bars under Make a Play. Give me some of the unique kind of qualities. I know that everyone in a section got like a free bottle last weekend, and that was like historic. Especially, now think about it, I'm 21, so think about my peer group, a free bottle in the section, that was like great. but those are just the small things that show, you know, your appreciation for the customers, and the customers appreciate that. Tell me some of those characteristics that have allowed you to, you know, have this impact on the city.
So, like I said before, it all starts out with my vision of what I want. So every spot has to have an identity. So Supper Club is your date night spot. It's your nice, it's the more upscale restaurant dining, fine dining spot that you go on a date or a birthday, a celebration, or just want great food. Bungalow 10 is more chill. It's a good food spot that you can go every day. Like, this is my spot where I would just want to go eat. This is my chill spot. I can watch the game. I can be in chill, relaxed clothes. I can, you know, sit at the bar and eat. I can bring a group of friends. We can eat. We can celebrate a occasion, a birthday, and still feel cool and relaxed. It's not too much. Whereas Jar is the spot where you go after you eat to party. It's where people want to go and party and had a long week. Let's go somewhere and party. Let's go somewhere and kick it. Let's hang out in a nice atmosphere. Let's have an out-of-town partying experience that we don't get in Nashville. And we bring a lot of DJs and celebrities through Jar. Minerva, I just remodeled it. It's a restaurant. It's a shisha and restaurant venue. It's where you go. A lot of people want to smoke hookah. That's the big thing. Yeah. So that's where people go. It's outdoors. It's a patio. It's a nice vibe. It's a where you come in, catch the sun, but you also is weather protected, so you get in a nice atmosphere. And Sunset is a place where you listen to live music. And you can smoke your cigars. You can have a great cocktail, a bourbon, a whiskey. You can chill under the sun, under the stars, watch the sunset, and just relax. So they all give you something different. It's something for everyone, and that was the goal.
I love it. I'm sold. I want to go to like each one. I'm thinking, man, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, I'm thinking about the person who hears this is like, man, I want to work there. Tell me about those processes. Do you guys kind of partner with other businesses in town? Are you just hiring off Indeed? What does that look like? So
we normally just do castings, and we on our website, makeaplayhospitality.com, we allow people to, you know, apply, and we always pull applications from each different restaurant or bar or lounge. We have application process that you can apply online. So we're always hiring. I have over 300 employees throughout all the businesses. I've been hiring college students for the last 10, 15 years. I employed thousands of students along, so we're always applying and trying to help in the community, hiring within the community, hiring. I go places and somebody might see me, I need a job, I'll say call me, give my number, and I'll set them up with a job. So anything I can do to help get someone on their feet, I'm gonna do it.
Man, I respect that. Now, these last few minutes of this segment, a couple different questions. Number one, tell me about your vision for yourself and then for Make a Play in the next, say, 5 to 10 years. That long term, tell me some of the dreams that you have and explain them to me. If you dream of opening an art museum, tell me, you know, the relevance behind that, things like that.
So my long-term vision for my brand is to be the biggest Black-owned hospitality company in the world. And I also want to be one of the biggest hospitality companies ever. I want to continue to build establishments, restaurants that support and have a positive initiative, help and give back to the community, but also lift up and inspire that young man that looks like me, that door's been closed, that was told no, that didn't feel a way, but can say, look, if he did it, I can do it. Because my goal is not for me to not only have the biggest hospitality company in the world, I want somebody to come behind me that looks like me, that has an even bigger hospitality company. Because I did it, and they feel that they can do it. Because, you know, the obstacles that's been thrown against us, we can accomplish anything, you know. People think they see this, but I had a lot of doors closed on me, you know what I mean? A lot of people told me no. In Hillsborough, I was told no for 2 years. So people, you see now, but you don't see the seeds that were planted, that all the obstacles I had to jump over, all the people that was petitioning against me, you know what I mean? So it's a story behind it's glory behind the story, you know what I mean?
Now, that's catchy, I like
you know,
that.
so I just want to be able to leave a legacy that inspires that next young male or female to say, if Rob took 26 years to do it, I'm going to do it in 13. Because I'm going to cut out the mistakes that he made. And I want to be there to cheer you on.
Man, you have all my support, and that's an understatement because I believe in the vision, and I love the way that you've put that. Use these last 2 minutes to plug yourself ways that the community can support. Plug your socials first, your website, then again, run down the clubs, tell us when we can go, or restaurants, where we can go, all the jazz.
So my social media is on everything. Is I am Black Rob. You can find me on there. Facebook is Robert Higgins. On my supper club on Belcourt, at Bungalow 10, Nashville, at Jar Cocktail Club, at Minerva Avenue, at Sunset on Belcourt, at Make a Play Hospitality Group. You can find us on any of those outlets. The restaurants were open Tuesday through Sunday. Come eat. Brunch Friday through Sunday. Come eat. Jars open Friday through Sunday. Come party. Minerva's open Wednesday through Sunday. Come chill and vibe. So it's something for everybody. Sunset will be open in May.
Ooh.
I'm opening the grand openings in May.
And this will air the first weekend of May, so that's actually perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's coming soon.
And Rob, I want to thank you for coming this morning and for talking about just all the things that you do for the community and ways that we can support. And I want to thank our viewers for tuning in and allowing me this space to share one more perspective. Thank you and good morning.